Hi, Sharks. Happy Money Monday. Tonight's episode is going to be one that even if you're not in a relationship, you should listen to. We're going to talk about how to talk to your partner about money and what are the things that you need to talk about. So, one of the issues that causes the most fights in relationships is money, right? We have grown up in different ways, and that's with everyone, right? Most likely the people in your life do not have a similar upbringing as you do, and definitely not the same upbringing, right? You didn't grow up in the same house, you didn't have the same role models, you didn't have the same influences, and so it's really important to figure out how you both feel about money and what are your strengths and weaknesses and what are the different things that each of you needs to work on, and what are the I want to say red flags, but it's more what is the baggage, what is the emotional financial baggage that you are bringing into this relationship. So you want to okay, let's say you are already married, you have already started this relationship, and you didn't have the money talk, right? You didn't find out what their debt was like, what their budget looked like. Maybe you didn't really talk about how much they made, things like that. So now what? Especially if you're going to be living together, sharing the bills, right? You want to talk about where did our money go, right? That's one of the first questions that you're going to ask each other. Where has our money gone? Is it being spent on essentials? Are we wasting? Are we spending more than we can afford? And one of the best ways to do this is to sit and budget. And I know that sounds so boring and it sounds so overwhelming and so stressful, but if you do it the right way, it does not have to be. And when I say the right way, it means don't take on more than you can handle in one shot, and pair it with an activity that's fun, right? Like give yourself a prize when you finish. Whether that be like a fun dinner or like go walk to the park or, take a walk by the lake or, something that will not put you in a worse financial decision by any means, but will be something to look forward to after you get done with the nitty gritty. You want to take like 3 months of bank and credit card statements from each of you. And you want to look for trends, right? You want to look, hey, what am I spending my money on? And what is my partner spending their money on? And I want you to compare them. And then comes the budgeting, right? You talk about how much you made, how much the other person makes, how much you are spending towards your joint bills, and then how much you are saving, how much you are investing. Like these are all things that you want to be talking about. So I want you to go into it knowing that you're going to have to budget a little bit, knowing that you're going to have some uncomfortable conversations, but that it's okay because you entered into a relationship with someone. And if you are okay with them seeing you naked, then you should also be okay with them understanding your financial situation. It affects their financial situation, and their financial situation affects your financial situation. So please make sure to have those conversations. I want you to also talk, when you're budgeting, I want you to talk about what you're thinking about saving. What are the goals that you want to accomplish with your partner? And what are the things that you can put towards those goals? So what's the money that you can put towards those goals? And I want you to get really specific and really serious about what those goals are with your partner, right? Maybe what you're dreaming of is completely different from what they're dreaming of, but maybe there's a happy medium that you both will feel good about, right? If you remember last week's negotiation, you want to leave this with both parties feeling taken care of, feeling like they got something of value out of it, right? So please make sure that you don't I want to say, for lack of a better word, shit on anyone's goals, right? Like, I don't want you to talk down or demean anyone's goals. I want you to have a conversation about why that's important and what is the feeling behind it, right? So if someone wants a big house with a wraparound porch and a balcony, and that's like what their goal is, right? And they want to have that in 5 years. Like, what about that scenario is what you're looking for? Is it financial? Do you feel like you've made it at that point? Does that mean it's financial security, financial stability? What about that feeling that you're going to get when you achieve this thing is what we need to hold on to? Especially if the other person's goal is, let's say, to live on a houseboat, right? And these are totally opposite and they're very different. And most likely that is not what your situation is, right? But is there a happy medium that makes both parties feel taken care of and feel secure and safe and stable? So that's goals. So when you have those goals, I want you to put numbers to them, right? And I want you to give yourself an amount that you're saving for those goals every single week. And that goes into your budget. Another thing is investing. So another big topic that nobody talks about, but everyone needs to, is retirement. Like, what have you done for retirement? And that's something that you need to know about your partner. What are their plans for retirement? What have they done towards retirement already or have not done towards retirement? And that's something that you come up with a plan together. What does it look like? What are the options that you have? Are you working for a company that offers a 401k? Are you going to be having Roth IRAs and investing in other ways? Like, those are all things that you need to talk about. And another big one, and this is one that is especially hard for many, many people, is debt. You got to open up those books, baby. You got to show them everything. Show them the debt. Show them your student loans, your mortgages, your credit card debt, whatever debts you have. That is something that you want to be open and honest about, because that affects both of you, right? Your debt is their debt. Whatever you need to pay off has to come out of the budget. Whatever they need to pay off has to come out of the budget. You really have to be open and upfront about your debt. And when you have these conversations about saving, about investing, about debt, you find out who is better at certain things, right? Maybe responsibilities need to change, right? Maybe someone is really great at saving and not good at paying off debt. And maybe someone else is really great at investing and paying off debt, but horrible at saving. Being in a partnership allows you to take advantage of each other's strengths, right? You want the person that's really good at doing something to be the one doing it. So maybe one of you has a lot of late payments on their credit report because they're not good at paying off their debt. They just forget about it. Maybe that responsibility gets shifted to the person that's super organized with the calendar, has certain debt, has certain days that they pay off all of their debt. Like, that's something that you can talk about and you can redistribute the tasks that you do to make sure that the right person is doing them. Maybe someone is amazing at doing research on investments. Like, that's the person that should be looking up investments, researching investments, coming to their partner and saying, because everything is a joint decision, right? You've chosen to be married, and what affects one of you will affect the other. And so it's important to make a lot of decisions jointly, right? So maybe you're going to come to your partner and say, hey, I saw this amazing investment, and this is why I think we should do it. Here are the pros, here are the cons. Let's talk about what our risk tolerance is, right? That's another thing, another conversation that you want to have, because some people are very risk averse, right? They want to have their money in things that are liquid, right? Very cash-like savings accounts, high yield savings, maybe a CD, but they're not okay with risky stocks. Someone else might be super aggressive when it comes to that type of stuff, right? And you need to come to a decision on where you are going to be on that balance as a unit, as a joint unit, right? So maybe the partner that's super risky gets like an amount of money that they get to play with, right? And if it goes great, amazing. But if it doesn't go great, it does not affect the whole. It does not affect the rest of the retirement savings or the rest of the savings account. So these are all things, all conversations that you should be having, that you should be thinking about, that you should be talking to your partner about. And I want to remind you that talking about money is not tacky, that we need to talk about our money. We need to have that emotional safety with our partner to be able to have discussions like these. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but you don't grow from a place of comfort. You grow from where it's uncomfortable. So I want you, again, just like we talked about with negotiation, like sit in that discomfort for a little bit. It's okay to, right? It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but rip off that Band-Aid. Show your loved one what you actually have, what you want out of life, what your plans are for the two of you together, and decide jointly how you're going to move ahead. Okay? That is going to be it for today. If you've got any questions about it, or you want to, you just want to talk about the different things and how do I approach this conversation, please feel free to comment here, like, share, binge watch all of my Money Monday episodes. There's tons of valuable knowledge here. Make sure that this gets seen by the people that need to see it. And I will see you next week for another episode of Money Monday. Bye, Sharks. Have a great night.